What's up, hunters? Faust here. Today we're talking about one of the most legendary hunting franchises ever made, Deer Hunter. If you grew up with old Windows XP computers, giant CRT monitors, and the sound of mouse clicks while trying to hit a deer through foggy forests, then this video is going to hit you right in the nostalgia. Deer Hunter was one of the first major hunting games that became a huge success in the late 90s and early 2000s. Over the years, the series received tons of sequels, spin-offs, and newer versions. And today, we're going through almost every important Deer Hunter game released for PC. We'll talk about when each game came out, who made it, what the gameplay was like, what made every entry special, and why some of these games became legendary among gamers. So grab your hunting rifle, prepare your bait, and let's dive into the history of the Deer Hunter franchise. The first Deer Hunter released in 1997. It was developed by Sunstorm Interactive and published by WizardWorks Software. This game basically started the modern hunting genre. Before it, there were not many serious hunting simulators on PC trying to create a realistic hunting experience. The gameplay was simple but incredibly interesting for the time. Players would choose hunting locations, equipment, and try to track deer through large forest maps. You had to pay attention to wind direction, noise, and animal tracks. For 1997, the graphics were actually pretty solid. The forests looked peaceful and realistic, while the sounds of nature created a unique atmosphere. Many players remember this game because it was slow and relaxing. There were no explosions, fast gunfights, or crazy action. Just you, nature, and patience. Even though it looks outdated today, the original Deer Hunter laid the foundation for the entire franchise. Only 1 year later, Deer Hunter 2, The Hunt, Continues was released. The developers took everything that worked in the first game and improved it. The graphics were more detailed, animal animations looked better, and the maps were larger. New deer species and more hunting equipment were added. This sequel tried to create an even more realistic hunting experience. Players had to pay closer attention to tracks, sounds, and animal behavior. The game became very popular among casual PC gamers in the late 90s. Interestingly, the Deer Hunter franchise was becoming a huge phenomenon in America because many players wanted relaxing gameplay instead of non-stop action like the FPS games of that era. Deer Hunter 2 improved almost every aspect and proved that the series was far from over. In 1999, Deer Hunter 3 was released. This became one of the most famous games in the entire franchise. The graphics were improved again, while maps became much larger and more detailed. Players could now hunt in different environments with more animal species. The gameplay evolved into a more serious hunting simulator. You had to use binoculars, bait, and carefully choose your position. What many players remember most is the atmosphere. The silence of the forest, bird sounds, and the feeling of spending hours tracking one giant deer. Deer Hunter 3 became one of the best-selling hunting games of its time and pushed the franchise even further. For many fans, this is considered the true Deer Hunter experience. At the beginning of 2000, Deer Hunter 4 was released. This sequel tried to bring even better graphics and a more modern look. The forests looked more detailed, animal models were improved, and weather effects looked impressive for computers at the time. The gameplay formula remained similar, but the game included more content and new hunting locations. A major focus was realism and authentic hunting simulation. Even though it was not revolutionary compared to previous entries, Deer Hunter 4 was still very popular among fans. Many people played it during the Windows 98 and Windows XP era. In 2001, Deer Hunter 5, Tracking Trophies was released. This entry introduced even more content and new features. The game focused more on trophy hunting. The goal was no longer just finding any deer, but hunting the biggest and rarest ones. New regions, better animations, and more weapons were added. The atmosphere stayed calm and realistic, which remained one of the biggest trademarks of the series. For many players, this was one of the best Deer Hunter games from the early era. With Deer Hunter 2003, the franchise entered the yearly release era. The game launched in 2002, but carried the 2003 title similar to sports games. The graphics received a major upgrade. Environments looked more beautiful, and animals became more detailed. Gameplay became more accessible for new players. You still had to track animals and use strategy, but the game was slightly easier than older entries. This sequel became very popular among casual gamers and was often seen installed on old family PCs. After the success of the previous game, Deer Hunter 2004 arrived. This game continued the same formula but with even more content. New hunting locations, more weapons, and improved animal AI were added. The deer behaved more naturally and became harder to track. For many fans, Deer Hunter 2004 represents the peak of the classic Deer Hunter era. For its time, the graphics looked really impressive, especially on stronger Windows XP computers. This game still carries a special nostalgic vibe today. In 2004, Deer Hunter 2005 was released. This was one of the final major classic PC entries. The graphics were improved once again, while environments became very detailed. The gameplay tried to balance simulation and entertainment. Players could use many different weapons and hunting equipment. The hunting experience stayed slow and relaxing, which remained the core identity of the series. Many fans remember this game as the last true Deer Hunter before gaming. Trends started changing. In 2008, Deer Hunter Tournament was released. This game attempted to modernize the franchise with online and competitive elements. Players could compare scores and participate in various challenge modes. The graphics looked more modern, but many fans felt the game lacked the atmosphere of the older titles. Still, Deer Hunter Tournament was an interesting attempt at evolving the franchise. By that time, the gaming industry had already changed dramatically compared to the late 90s. Besides the main games, Deer Hunter also received several additional side releases, and one of the more interesting ones was Deer Hunter Companion. This title functioned more like a companion program and guide for hunting fans. Players could browse information about animals, weapons, and various hunting tactics. These kinds of additions were very popular in the late 90s when developers tried expanding gaming franchises in different ways. And that was the history of the Deer Hunter franchise. From its humble beginning in 1997 all the way to later sequels, Deer Hunter left a huge mark on gaming history. Maybe these games look outdated today, but for many players, they represent pure nostalgic comfort gaming. The silence of the forest, the sounds of nature, and the feeling when you finally spot a giant deer after a long search, that's what made Deer Hunter special. In this video, I didn't include every single spin-off and mobile version, because there are simply too many of them. And these were the most famous PC Deer Hunter games that most people remember. If you ever played Deer Hunter, make sure to comment which game was your favorite. If you want more videos about old PC games, hunting games, and forgotten gaming franchises, make sure to like and subscribe. This was your boy Fowz, and I'll see you in the next video.